Hi, I'm Paul, the Happy Gilder. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to go over the process of upcycling an old sort of antique mirror. Now, a lot of the process is going to be the same as in my first video, which was how to make a custom mirror. There are a few different things you need to take into consideration when dealing with quite old mirrors. This is the mirror that I'm going to be using. As you can see, it's not in the best shape. All of this stuff around the edge here, where the silver's either coming off or you've got these kind of black spots, it's called foxing. And what that is, it's when the backing paint is either not good enough, or it could just be that it's really old, but basically the silver starts to corrode. The good thing is a lot of people get rid of mirrors when this happens, but what they don't know is that it's quite a desirable look nowadays. So to give you an example, I buy my glass from a glass company, and for standard mirrors I think it costs just over £40 a square metre. Now to get that with the antique defect, that costs £100 a square metre. So it's worth keeping an eye out for these kind of things at charity shops or on Gumtree, Craigslist, depending on where you are. So the first thing I need to be aware of at this early stage is how is the backing paint holding up. Now, looking at this one, I've given this a clean because it was quite grubby, and it's got a glossy coating to it, so that sort of gives me some confidence that the vinyl that I apply is going to stick to it. Now, I've had some in the past where that backing paint is almost a kind of powdery texture, and no matter how much I clean it, I'll apply the vinyl to it, think it might hold, but as soon as it's in the sandblaster, that and the air, even before sand has hit it, the vinyl's flapping around and it's pretty useless. So not all of them are going to work, but I think this is okay. It's not perfect, but we can kind of get around that by applying the vinyl, doing the picking, and then kind of leaving it by a heat source so that the kind of glue that's on the vinyl really sort of sticks to it. The next few processes I'm going to do as a time lapse because I've covered them in detail in my first video of how to make a custom mirror, and I'll put a link to that in the description. So all the vinyl's picked and ready for sandblasting. Now where I was extra careful with the vinyl picking, I need to take an equal amount of care when I'm sandblasting. So ordinarily with the mirrors I've been using up until now, they've got a really solid backing coating of backing paint. So you can get really close, do kind of slow motions to remove all of the backing paint and the silver. In this case, this backing paint, as you can see when the vinyl comes off, it's kind of peeling away with vinyl. So it's not holding on, so it's not stuck to the silver very well, or it's worn away over time. So to test this out, I'm going to start by sandblasting from further away than normal, and I think that's going to come off quite quickly. The one thing to be cautious of is, as well as the backing paint coming off quickly, there's a strong possibility that some of this vinyl is going to come off as well. So it's just being extra vigilant, looking out for anything that might look like it's flapping and ready to come off. Might have to take that out and have a look at what we can do then. So see how we get on. So that was really kind of light sandblast, but even with that there was a few moments where the vinyl has come away. I'll show you. So we kind of see there on the little scroll next to the T, that's come away. If you kind of don't keep an eye on that, you'll end up blasting that mirror coating away. I'm starting to peel a little bit around this area here as well. nearly lost a little bit here. So it's all to do with the backing paint of these old mirrors. The vinyl just doesn't stick to them, you know, so just something to be wary of. But it's come out quite nicely, so just going to crack on with the painting now. So after looking at this a little bit more closely, I've seen that it isn't a perfect job, you know, but there isn't a lot I could have done about that. See, as I was sandblasting, it's left some of the kind of mirror coating on this, but if I'd have carried on doing it, it would have taken off areas where the vinyl was coming loose. So you can see there are imperfections, but I think they're going to look fine. You know, it's kind of one of these things you just have to be aware when you're working with really old mirrors that you might not be able to get those perfect results that you can with a brand new one. So it's kind of changed my plan as to what I was going to do. I was thinking of glue chipping the centre and doing some nice sort of blended shading on some of it, but now based on how delicate I can see this backing paint is, I'm going to just do some basic reverse painting. So the things I'm going to be using are sign writing enamels, just standard sign writing paintbrushes, and this thing here which is called a mahl stick. It's spelled M-A-H-L, and what they use for is just to kind of give your hand stability, so you'd kind of lean on it as you're painting. Now, the way I prefer to kind of paint is by always either sort of painting downwards, or if it's on a flat surface, pulling it towards you. This is how I feel I get the most control. That might be wrong, you know, from a sign writer's perspective. So if you've seen another video somewhere that it has kind of given brush techniques, certainly follow that and not mine, because I'm not a professional sign writer. So I'm just going to start with the black, and then I've got two other colours which are a bright yellow and a bright red, which are the kind of colours of the Rally logo as it was on the bikes in the 1980s. And that's it. So this is the finished mirror. Quite difficult showing it in a camera, but it's not perfect, but I think, you know, it's got its own charm. And I think someone who's a kind of enthusiast of 70s or 80s bikes would think it was a pretty decent gift. But I really made the video just to cover some of the different things you might encounter depending on the different type of mirror you get your hands on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and click the little thumbs up icon, and then share it with anyone who you think might enjoy it. So till next time, thanks.